And joining us now, Virginia's Lieutenant Governor and gubernatorial candidate, Winsome Earle-Sears. Lieutenant Governor, fantastic to see you. The left-wing control of schools in Northern Virginia was one thing that certainly helped current Governor Glenn Youngkin. But as Sierra McLean writes in the Wall Street Journal in an opinion piece, here's a quote. An anti-Trump tide in Virginia abuts the District of Columbia and will impact November's election. How do you see it?
Let me tell you how I see it. There are parents who simply want their girl children to have the privacy and the respect of their personal spaces. And you have someone like Abigail Spanberger, my opponent, who has voted. She didn't just support, she voted that boys would be able to be in the locker rooms, full frontal, nude. And that's not what the parents want. In fact, she has voted against the Parents' Rights Act, which simply said this: if you're changing the curriculum, I as the parent need to know. If there's violence in the schools, I as the parent need to know. If you're doing political ideology, I need to know. If my child is transitioning and you're helping, I need to know. Simply put, I am the child's parent and I need to know. Now, the media, the mainstream media, isn't holding her feet to the fire on that. They're letting her go with some word salad that she recently said, which makes no sense, of course, but I am holding her feet to the fire. She's running away from her record. Well, she can run, but she cannot hide.
No, it seems like such a common sense position. I mean, you've got a guy with facial hair, and I mean, it's almost to the point of perversion that you can't even talk about it on the air. It's so grotesque. And I got to believe that the overwhelming majority of people understand that. But Governor, let me transition to this because your opponent also backs the Virginia Clean Economy Act. Explain what this is, where you're at versus where she's at as it relates to the Clean Economy Act.
So again, Abigail Spanberger makes no sense in her policies, and she knows it. You know, the Virginia Clean Economy Act was voted on by every single Democrat to align our energy policy to some idiotic type of green energy, and that makes no sense because immediately upon the bill's approval, what happened was over 11,000 megawatts of power disappeared almost immediately just in order to fulfill the requirements of the act. And we have gas in Virginia, and you know, she has voted against having our gas tapped. And she recently said she's also going to be voting against oil. I mean, where is this woman coming from? How are we supposed to maintain all the businesses that have come to Virginia because they like our energy policy? They like the fertile soil that we've created where we've gotten rid of over 91,000 plus different regulations that were job killers, did nothing for the bottom line of business to help them hire people. She is going to attach us to the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative also from California. So that's two huge energy bills that are coming due. And in fact, we have people in our Southwest, God bless them, they're coming up on winter and they're going to have $800 bills, up to $1,600 bills. Who's going to help them? Certainly not Abigail Spanberger. As governor, I'm already working on that.
Lieutenant Governor, you're a veteran and you know tough like nobody else, having known you for some time. But you've got some ground to make up in terms of polling. You have trailed at every poll that I've looked at this year, and also in the recent fundraising numbers for July 1 through August. Spanberger outraised you $14 million to $5.2 million. What are you doing to close that gap and pull ahead?
So we've got some really good numbers in poll raising, in fundraising. But listen, we're never going to match what the Democrats do. Most Republicans don't. We just don't. They always outraise us because they have access to so many different pots of money. But our numbers are coming up. I've just gotten $3 million from the Republican Governors Association. I am raising online, believe it or not, $150,000 every single day. And that's $5 and $10. I saw a check for $4. They just want to help. So our dollars are going much farther. But here's the thing. We are seeing enthusiasm on our side. What do I mean? Well, in our poll, in the actual polls, not the lying polls that you're seeing, but actually people going to the polls, our Republicans are doing 80 to 90% of voting, whereas the Democrats, for the whole week, they're at 30 to 40%. So their momentum is not on their side. They don't have enthusiasm, and it's because my opponent doesn't have common sense, and she's going to destroy our economy. They know that they need me as their governor, and I'll do right by them in Virginia.
Well, that's the thing. At this point, nationally, I don't think the Democrats have much of anything in terms of policy to champion. So, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears, the race is on now, and voting has started. So, congratulations on putting up a fight. Let's see how it goes. And thanks so much for joining us on The Bottom Line.
Thank you for having me.
And may God bless you.
Go to winsomesears.com.
And Semper Fi.
Winsome Sears. Do or die.
Great to see you, Lieutenant Governor.